My name is Lalovich. I'm a managing director of Agile Dynamics. Agile Dynamics is a business architecture advisory. Have been in this space most of my career. I have been working with the large enterprise projects likes of Emirates Nuclear Energy, as well as Sadara Petrochemical, as well as a number of different private as well as the government entities. And one thing that I pride myself with is we solve complex problems that more often than not stem from people management practices. So that's pretty much in a nutshell. In 2020, we have collectively came to conclusion that as advisory, as a management consulting company, we're going to make a pivot towards the blockchain. One reason that really, led to this decision is this is infrastructure technology, and this is the technology that is not necessarily focused on the benefits stemming out of the technical solutions, but most importantly from methodological solutions. So the future of the business as well as the world as we know is pivoting towards the decentralization. As you can see, the geopolitical scene is shifting as well as the technology landscape that beholds it. So we believe that blockchain technology holds a lot of truth as well as solutions for this future world, starting with decentralization, moving over to a democratizing ownership of data, moving the infrastructure from a central location to decentralizing it. And most importantly, I believe one of the key benefits of this solution is cost effectiveness. It's really empowering growth markets by its ability to drive the innovation through very cost effective and humble financial means. So in our most recent research published in May of this year, we have evaluated 126 protocols in order to identify pros and cons of different technologies currently available, but most importantly to chart the future direction. So to really give you a very pragmatic, practical answer in terms of the application, there is very little under the sun that the blockchain cannot address. However, what's really going to make a difference between success and failure is to identify those problems that will make a difference. So in our humble view, based on our research, we're looking at three major opportunities: cross-border payments, healthcare, and gaming. With each of these, having its own, world of opportunities. But at the end of the day, you have to start somewhere. And we believe, for one or another reason, that these are the right opportunities from the commercial as well as the adoption perspective. And those are the two key elements that we have considered when it comes to scoping the opportunities. In terms of the adoption, the biggest challenge is that these projects at the end of the day, due to its nature and infant stage of maturity of the technology, present a massive opportunity for unethical business practices. So as you have seen, the number of scandals in this space is so overwhelming that you can't even keep up. So I would say the biggest challenge is going to be the level of confidence required for the mass adoption. So I would connect the two, in one. Basically, it really comes down to building the confidence of the large segments of the population in order to really, feel comfortable that they can see, the future when it comes to their critical infrastructure, when it comes to their personal and professional well-being, and that's going to come down to involvement of really ethical, but most importantly, forward-looking entrepreneurs who are not necessarily going to be motivated by short-term gain. So essentially, to answer your question, I think the biggest obstacle is the confidence of the public, and the greatest opportunity is for the entrepreneurs with the long-tail perspective. Well, to be quite frank with you, I mean, your guess is as good as anyone's. What I believe, we are at that watershed, moment when it comes to the blockchain technology, especially in the growth markets. As you can see from the past experiences, growth markets are capable of leapfrogging. Just an example, African fintech is much more advanced than European fintech, and there is a good reason for it. Smart people, deprived of opportunities, looking for benefits. So once you bring these three together, the magic happens. So yes, I believe it might be 3 to 5 years in the more mature markets. It might be 1 to 2 years if the right things happen at scale in the growth markets. So I believe growth markets possess significantly higher opportunity for the high scalability adoption. This is a textbook challenge, that has been, a conundrum since the blockchain hit the market, and ultimately comes down to a level of decentralization, security, and scalability. What we have concluded from our perspective is that there are ways to manage this fine balance and to ultimately yield the best results in favor of your key success factors by having proof authority as well as the proof of stake hybrid that will ultimately enable you to manage the security, scalability, and the degree of decentralization by having 100 validators within your network that will give you the diversity and decentralization that will bestow the confidence on your stakeholders. So that's from the proof of stake perspective. From the proof of authority, you will make sure that you don't allow massive investors hijack the decentralization in any way, shape, or form, as we have seen in some of the contemporary leading chains. I believe that really the greatest opportunity of the blockchain technology, as I have mentioned earlier, is the cost effectiveness of this technology. Basically, if you have something between your ears, you have a laptop and maybe $1,000 in a pocket, you can become a founder in this space. If you compare it to any other, game-changing technology likes of robotics, biotechnology, quantum computing, the price point you need to get into these markets starts at 7 figures. So clearly this is, a poor man's nuclear bomb that you can make a difference on a global scale with a very humble means. So what is the future? The future is going to sit with the growth markets, where you have probably 3/4 of the global population, with a young population that is very smart, very ambitious, and most importantly, hungry. So yeah, I believe that's the key for the blockchain. It has to land in the hands of the right people.